Alrighty, hello everybody, and we are going to be hopping straight into Fortnite, where we are going to be starting live with Telly as we look to contest towards Risky Reels. Does look like it is going to be Equalizer with the best drop. At least 3 teams here in contenders for the Risky Reel loot. Also, I am joined inside commentary today by Sandy. Sandy, say hello.
How you guys doing tonight?
All right. The third specific player for Fortnite. Definitely very excited to see how we do tomorrow for no builds. But right now, first time on the new map for Fortnite within ECAC 2023 fall season. Is going to be starting out with a bang because we're already finding those minis, and those are already a rare occasion here on map 1. So it's going to be a northwards pull as well, which means boys are not going to have to worry about any forms of rotations, at least early on. Are going to do their best here to be farming and potentially also looking to see if they can start eyeing up towards Risky. Maybe putting eyes on just to see what is occurring. Now we are going to see the Porta Fortress, also new to literally today from the update, going down over by the bridge towards Lynx. But it is going to be the third-party decision to rotate towards the back of Reels, see what we can maybe look to pick up. Both players armed with at least a shotgun and some heals. Definitely not a bad start. Boys are continuing to rotate their way around to the second set of houses close to Reels. Don't want to find themselves too early on in a fight, especially with how many people apparently hot drop. Did look like the bus pull was a quick over Lynx. Understandable that maybe we saw as many players as we did. Initial shots are going to be going out by Ethan just for some initial chip poke damage towards Reels, but is not going to be successful in finding any. Does look like the fight may continue, but the boys just going to go ahead and fall off, play to their strengths, play to their games, and most importantly, look to mat up. Six of dynamite. That is huge for the boys from the standpoint of being able to honestly start the fight with almost a knock with the way that explosions work in the early seasons here. Now we are going to be going towards, I call it who's house, because anybody is able to edit what wall is what, so no real sense of pure direction there. Pump shot is going to go wide into a tree. We're going to be looking to sit with Ethan as we continue to rotate towards the back side of Wailing. Now Rift is going to be going up. Visual is going to be spotted on the enemies. They are also getting shot, which means one of them potentially looking to be low. 20 white, 40 white. Some really good shots here on by Ethan. Oh, but unable to capitalize on the last one for what would have surely have been the knock. No chance otherwise. Looks like the boys are electing to hang out, chill out on the height that they know what is going to be potentially pulling to. But at the same rate, you know, loot not the greatest right now in terms of the gray AR and only gray or green pumps from both of them. You know, potentially looking to take a mid-game fight here, utilize some of the utility they have with either the C4 explosive, or I mean with the dynamite rather, or even stinks, but definitely should be looking to take a mid-game fight here. But for now, we're going to be hitting those rocks and farming that brick. Boys doing a good job to find themselves outside of that altercation that did occur at Risky, given how many teams were off the bus so early. 59 players left alive here as Zone 1 does look to start coming to a close. Do have to wonder if the boys are potentially looking for the flying team that ran from the Risky team. For now, the farming continues as we look to be max with maybe a little bit of metal in the tank, but not by any means full. Looks like we are just going to go ahead and double up on the rift to goes, making sure that we're being efficient with who is carrying what. We're going to find more dynamite as well, but really not enough to be carrying. And I mean, honestly, the stinks are the ones that really more than anything. It is $225 for 2 boogie bombs. That is a steep price tag.
Inflation.
Epic Games, some may call him Jeffrey Bezos instead. Definitely a rough go of it for the first minute or so of this game, but are going to be live with Ethan, who is eyeing up a fight. Previous fight that has taken account. Looks like the boys are going to go ahead and start creeping into wheeling here. See if they can maybe start a fight at advantage or look to pick up some additional scrap loot.
Someone right there.
Yeah, we are gonna see some people. Potentially good start. Always looking to see if they can find anyone. It's gonna be a 26 tag off of the start. The boys are gonna be looking to see if they can utilize maybe the explosives here, you know. The launcher is gonna be pressuring them out. Boys doing a good job of falling without taking any damage to that. Not afraid to burn wood here. Plenty of woods around us. Looks like the boys are going to elect to fall off with the sight of the nade launcher. Probably smart. You know, nade launcher, full skill weaponry here. You know, any early game tag could lead to an absolute push, and boys do not want that at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and disengage and see if we can maybe find a different isolated 2v2 at our own advantage. Now, I do like what the boys are doing here, doing a good job of going down, you know, deeper into where zone initially pulled to see if they can catch any teams rotating into them by surprise, while also having the ability to refarm, but also, you know, have a little bit of that Amazon Prime loot delivery service. See if somebody walks into them for free, would enable them to get a little bit of better shotguns and ARs as we move into more of the mid game. Actually, by the looks of it, boys are doing what they can to, I think, identify a rift. Are aware that there should at least be one, from my understanding.
Speaking of rifts, Mark, I don't know if you've noticed, but with OMAP, there are majority towards like the very edge of the net.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's done intentionally, Santi. That's definitely to provide those teams that don't find the rift to goes or stuff, or that end at, non-named POIs, just an opportunity or a way to kind of find their way back into positioning. If not, it would be very, very hard. Now, granted, we are talking, this is Chapter 1 map, but it is not Chapter 1 zone. Zone's still pulling a little bit faster than what, traditionally way back in the day Fortnite would lead to. And so it looks like the boys have identified where one of those rifts are going to be, and maybe in the meantime just going to continue to look to farm. It's a little bit risky to risk it, if you're not being challenged in terms of AR spray or down on a man or down on advantage. We saw earlier, just even with the revolver, how accurate Ethan was able to be from one of the rifters. A little bit dangerous to potentially be taking that poke damage early, but boys are going to just continue to position themselves on dead side of zone in the best positioning that they can find. Look to farm back up to be, in the best position that they can be. But I definitely think that a mid-game fight is brewing here. It's just a matter of finding that team that is on the outskirts of zone that is looking to stay that way. We do find ourselves back here at house. I bet you the boys are going to be farming up some metal and brick, and that is the play indeed. Earlier, definitely just hitting it more so from the realms of ensuring quick looting. They look to be eyeing up towards not only Wailing, also back towards Risky. Have identified a chest that has not been grabbed. Definitely got to be careful on these hills. The level of traversal height differential here in Chapter 1 map is something to both admire and hate at the same time.
Absolutely.
We're going to find that extra 50 pot as well.
Question is, do they like to take that over 4 minis?
Oh, no. I think if anything, they're going to chuck it ahead and maybe look to come back to it if needed. But actually the decision is going to be to drop
stink grenades for it.
Stink grenades, but that's okay. Still rocking the 6 dynamite, so we definitely still have the utility that we feel like we would need in that situation.
I do want to ask your perspective on the fight in Wailing. Had they switched out and used the 6 dynamites, would that have gone any differently?
They were maybe within a range. I think the only real worrisome for me there is when it comes to really chucking those up. With how many trees, how many awkward angles one could get stuck on, you have to ask yourself, like, is it a risk that you're willing to take with the utility that you know that you're going to need? Right. Versus right now, they walk up, beam a team, and then start laying on with the explosives, similar almost a little bit to what the other team did. It's almost guaranteed an LM.
Right.
Yeah.
We do see a couple shots going on what appears to be a build battle right now.
Yeah, it is mostly a spray and pray battle at the moment. Looks like the boys are going to be walking up a little bit closer. Looks like the person is going to be falling towards the porta-fort. Boys did actually find an RPG as well. We're going to be shooting a little bit there. We'll have to see how the boys elect. Looks like the call is actually just going to be to fall off. Porta-fort's hard to push. Fortress, almost impossible. Yeah, And actually, oh my goodness, boys are going to find one, not one, but 2. And imagine actually how important this can be. And actually, I think the correct call here would be to drop the dynamite and actually go for the double Porta-fortress. Imagine not only the rotation potential, but just the immediate.
The sitting on height.
Yep, and there is the first Porta-fortress that is going to go down. Boys are going to do their best to get up inside of it. And they are going to be taking a look towards advantage. It's going to be the initial chip damage to start off the fight there by Ethan, hit for 30 blue. Oh, and 47 as well. Definitely really good damage here. This is where, this is where I think these explosives can really start to rain a little bit of pressure, a little bit of damage. Doing what they can, especially in wood. Wood of all builds, that is risky. Boys are going to be applying the pressure. It looks like the rift is going to come out.
And another team gliding in from left right there.
Yeah, it is going to be another team gliding in, looking to see if we can get any tags. None found initially. Do have to be a little bit cautious of our back. There is another fortress in play behind.
21 tag there from Ethan.
Yeah. But also, see, this is another problem with the, you know, the risky real drop in terms of these like more minor POIs. We don't really have the ammo. You know, we've done a good job of making sure that we have both an SMG and an AR, so nobody's going, you know, nobody's going dry in terms of, you know, using two of the same type. But man, it's going to be an interesting end game here, especially if it continues to pull to us. You know, what do we use to pressure them off? Shotguns? You know, it's hard.
We give him the toss a big pot.
Yeah, toss him a big pot, tell him, you know, a little wink and a smile, as Frosty the Snowman would, tell him we're going to be just fine, best friends here. Here comes some of the rifters. Initial poke damage shots are coming out. If I was Ethan in this situation, definitely just wait and look to identify maybe a crack, then maybe see if you can ultimately find the difference maker. But it looks like it is just going to be pressuring for now. But I think that the team actually is going to be being C4'd as well. Be live with the Jacob as he looks to poke a little bit with the SMG at distance at 8. Wow, some insane sprays there. Oh my goodness, keeps getting the tags. 8 white as well, actually. Crazy long range damage here, especially for an SMG out of Jacob. The real question is, like I said, when will we look to commit to a 2v2 engagement? I do think it could be off of a knock. You know, we're definitely hearing a lot of shots here towards the north edge of zone. And I mean, you know, if knocks are able to go down, trades are able to go down, it does look like a team is eliminated. I'm a little bit worried with how tunnel vision we are getting towards the north now. Definitely needs to, still need to make sure that we are distributing our attention equally. Make sure we're not getting pushed from house or anything of that nature. It's going to be another rift coming into play. I mean, still 2 rifts, but honestly, even the bouncers for us, we can definitely find our way into next zone with bouncers. And worst case, I mean, if we do find ourselves where we pull zone again, we've got the fortress to just chuck at our feet. Nice.
Quick elim.
Yeah, quick one-tap pickup by Ethan is going to be good, but the question is, you know, is it worth the refresh? Looks like the boys are going to be content, and oh my goodness. Talk about snake.io. I'm watching one being built in real life. The metal absolutely burned to get them closer to zone towards risky reels from the opponents to the north. Still, as I'm sure many of you can recall from previous matches, it is placement points that are important. You know, the kills can come with time, and we can surely pick up 1 or 2 where we need to. But ultimately, placement is what's going to get us the most points and keep us on top of the leaderboard where we dominantly sit currently. Looks like the boys are going to probably elect 2 bouncer. Just taking a little bit of an information gather right now just to see where they think they're headed. Plenty of spots and plenty of zones that are also available.
They could look to take an isolated 2v2 with that snake tank.
Yeah, they could look to. I think that the team is more so going to look to utilize the bouncers. Maybe just run straight off the edge. Yep, and that is going to be the case in order to get them into zone a little bit quicker. An instant Portafort is also going to go up. And the problem actually with a Port-a-Fort in comparison to, a Port-a-Fortress rather than a Port-a-Fort is because it is so much instant metal, while fantastic, it becomes problematic as it's a lot of territory to hold, especially here late into the endgame. And the boys are actually able to manage to pull. Now, if I'm the boys in this situation, I think I actually burn metal and go up. From the reasoning of, you're not going to be able to hold this much space this broadly, but this low to the ground. But if you're high enough, you actually could.
Ethan,
yeah, looks like the boys are going to be taking the isolated 2v2. As previously stated in terms of the box fight, RPG is going to... What a ramp is going to absolutely ensure... Oh, and he is going to die to zone. Are the boys able to get the... Yep, we are going to get not only the refresh, but the golden RPG, along with a little bit more utility for us to burn. Definitely not a full mat refresh, but definitely good enough from the standpoint of upgrading shotguns and necessary shielding. So we'll definitely take that. Looks like the boys are going to be working their way back towards their fortress now. But you do have to be careful because you never know. In the wise words of Mario, this might not be your castle anymore. So you got to be careful here as we look to re-aggress it back up. Yep, and the initial rifts are coming out. This is what we were expecting. We'll have to see how the boys elect to isolate. Looks like they're going to do the good technique of we don't care where you go. You just can't go here. But, oh my gosh, it's going to be the laser beam with the blue AR that actually is going to knock, and we're going to finish that elimination as well. Boys are not going to elect to go for that damage immediately. Instead, going to continue to apply the pressure that they need to. Are going to go ahead and re-secure that refresh while continuing to apply pressure forward. Now this was the mid-game fights we needed. We're now fully stacked situationally to find ourselves in a great spot to win this game. Natural height advantage here. Nades are going to be coming out. Does look like another team is going to be challenging us on our own Port-a-Fortress, but are ultimately going to fall away. And now we are going to see it is going to be a far distance pull here. Boys going to do what they can to not maintain height, but potentially look to rift later into the zone. For now, just looking to utilize and potentially see if we can sneak an RPG through. Do have to be careful about when you look to rift to go, though. Oh my gosh. Sniper bullet nearly goes over the head of Jacob.
Definitely gave him some flashbacks when...
Oh yeah, very much some flashbacks to... I heard about this, the infinite, you don't want to get headshot, snut, and then instant dead. Okay, is going to be the rift to go, and the boys do look like they are going to stay high, understanding that everybody is going to have to be moving as well. But it does look like we are going to start the dive process now. Teams are going to be in the air versus teams that are not. Looking to just keep positioning as much as we can. Boys ultimately going to decide to land up onto the hill. Little bit of a miscommunication. Boys are separated. Oh, and a risky situation. Are the boys going to go up? Looks like we are going to try to maintain height here. But still covering our head, understanding that there's so many people in the air. Are we going to have a PG for height? Looks like it might be challenged, might not be. Nope, we're going to decide to continue to tunnel into zone instead. Oh, risky. And only 8 people left alive, us as duos, as the nades are going to start to come out in terms of falling. Now, every positional placement point here is important. It is going to be the spray and super heavy damage. Boys do have to worry about being naded here. Looking to create some space and reload if needed. Now, boys are in the front of where zone is pulling. Could very easily look to crank, potentially. Is going to send one more rocket, unable to find anyone. Are they focusing too hard, specifically on one individual player? Unsure. Boys are getting back into their old tarp. Good job on them for reusing it. Only 5 people left alive. Oh, rifting is dangerous, especially now that zone has so few. And they're going to ape height by the looks of it. Height actually is going to get chopped down. Is going to be a 2v1 situation. Boys are going to look One dead ahead in zone. 1v1v1 is the call. Boys looking to take height. 71 is going to be the hit. Plenty of rockets. Telly's going to elect to lead the way uphill. And this is pulling definitely for boys in terms of the UMW win. No mats. Is going to look to just continue the spray. Ultimately not going to be found.
Jake gonna go down.
Jake is going to go down. Is looking to see if he can sneak the RPG in. Zone is going to be pulling far as well. We'll have to see. Only 150 mats left on Ethan. Zone is going to actually be pulling slightly in his favor here. It's going to be the shockwave up that tries to contest the height. Oh, but he is going to be able to come back into it. Is the RPG going to find the enemy player? It is not. Enemy player is going to be on height and able to beam him down. And it is going to be the boys falling in third place with the game ending shortly thereafter. All right, everybody, thank you. We will be right back momentarily once we get into the next game. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Fortnite. It is going to be an unfortunate other hot drop, but that is okay. We're going to get it done. Boys doing their best. And there's definitely going to be at least one team conning reels with this close of a landing spot. Boys doing their best too. It looks like only one team actually is going to con them in terms of for the risky reel, so boys might look to move quickly from house in order to pressure them towards reels. Is going to be the double chest uphill, which one of them should look to get. Yep, and that's going to be Jacob identifying that. And is going to get the double shotty off the rip. Also going to see another shotgun, identified and picked up by Ethan. The real question is here is, do we get something to start the fight with that isn't a shotgun? And do we get a little bit of shield? If the answer, unfortunately, is no to both of those, this could be a hard situation to find ourselves in. We are going to get the SMG. Okay, and we are going to get some minis, which is going to enable us to be able to take a fight if we would like to. Yep. Alright, the boys are going to be farming up just a little bit of the quick mats as well, but looks like we are already going to be shoved. Absolute laser on the side of Jacob. Stinks are going to be coming out in terms of applying the pressure. 37 white as the enemy team is going to be looking to fall. Looks like the Allier dubstep is going to be the play. Have identified one, but where is the secondary player? Looks like the enemy player is going to be running as well, making his distance back. But the boys are going to secure themselves not only the secondary spoils, but also the medal from here at Risky Reels. This next minute of farming is going to be brought to you by Farmville, the game that we are not sponsored by, but would love to hear from. Farmville, play today at your local app store. And the Chug Jug that was just taken by none other than Jacob is actually going to be brought to you by Powerade. Damn, there's a double Porta Fortress. I'm making myself laugh over here. I'm having too much fun with this. We're going to be full farming up to the metal. Definitely will have enough when it comes to the wood as well. And you have to think that enemy team is regretting the decision they took to take such a quick fight versus the boys, especially so early on. The beam, unfortunately not caught on stream, but definitely heard around the world from Jacob. Definitely made the difference there. Boys are being precautious that the last guy is potentially lurking somewhere. They're going to do what they can to go ahead and just mat up fully now. Also going to select to take the bush, aka the ghillie suit. Very similar to the, the Warzone ghillie suit tactic.
I'm not much of a
Warzone player. That's okay. That's okay. Me neither. Only reason I know it exists is because they sell it. It's that downloadable content, you know. You know how that goes. Now they are going to see the rift to go for 300. And, once again, if it's me, 300 wood, money ain't a thing at the moment. I would heavily be considering taking the rift, but It also sort of depends on the situation of where we find ourselves moving to as storms continue to move. Now, we are going to be getting a shotgun, LMG, mini combo. Oh, and it is going to be the player coming back for the reboot card. Looks like the team is going to be moving quickly to see if they can identify, potentially eliminate this player. Did he grab the card? That is the question.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either. I think he bugged out. It was a little bit too fast on the bug out for me to be confident that he grabbed that.
It was a game of chicken, honestly.
I definitely agree. Now the question really is are the boys going to do what they can to maybe camp this reboot? Prevent an opponent from respawning back into the game. Potentially looking like a mid-divot to retail road pole. This would be a very interesting zone. Don't often see these middle of the zone maps, especially in such a flat zone. You know, generally you see them more towards the left, Pleasant Park. But we will have to see as it continues to develop what the boys are going to be looking to rotate into and what they're looking to do. But sitting very comfortably at 505 in terms of all mats and working our way towards probably the bricks located right outside of Willow. I'm blanking on the POI now.
Wailing Woods.
Wailing
Temple.
Willow. It's like a Harry Potter marathon special. Can't remember the name of the tree. But
Oh,
the Weeping Willow.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, we're gonna find ourselves once again in a little bit of a farm fest here. We're gonna see who can farm mats the fastest. We're gonna have a perfect rock. Oh, non-perfect rock from Telly. Perfect rock from Jacob. I'll have to see. Perfect rock from Telly. Perfect rock from Telly. Can we get a perfect rock from Jacob? Oh, non-perfect rock from Telly. And that it means if this is the perfect rock, and it is going to be the perfect rock from Jacob, making him our Farming 2021 winner.
I can more content like this.
Absolutely. Got to make the mid-game interesting. Now, the bush, useful from the standpoint of taking that first initial shot. Oh, the reboot van. They're going to hear it.
Question is that the team from Reels?
Is it a team for Reels, and are they going to look to challenge it immediately, or are they going to wait for the reboot and instead elect to beam the kid out of the air? Our presence is now going to be known. Oh my goodness, and the inability to build is going to be problematic here from Jacob. Is going to have to run to retreat.
Yeah. We build out of brick.
Yes, out of brick. Build, 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 build. And although that was the beam, we'll have to see if the enemy team elects to key with it.
And they do elect to push.
They are going to be electing to apply pressure, not necessarily. That's going to be a nice 95 dink to potentially alleviate some of that initial pressure. Big pot is also going to be coming out. Looks like pressure will continue, but only going to burn wood here in terms of for the mats.
Boys, from what I'm hearing, do question popping the Porta Fortress right now.
Maybe. I mean, it is risky given the fact that it will not cover their head.
Right.
That is the real issue. Fake Rift is going to stop the pressure, but ultimately it is going to continue. And it looks like the decision to Playground is going to be made. Quick beams are going to be hit. And it is going to be a 70 tag quickly coming out. Ooh. And one is going to be cracked. We're going to quickly be live, but unfortunately are going to fall. And we'll be right back when the next game resumes. Oh my gosh, Avery, hi. I'm just
Hi,
kidding.
Avery.
No, hello to everybody in chat. We are getting ready for game 3 to start here in just 1 minute. Apologies. We are still working on getting more B-roll, but in the meantime, look at this well feng shui designed living room, you know? You got a little couch cushion. Now, I will say, unfortunately, we do not have a coaster underneath the drink on the table. Kind of selling on that front. Do have the cat. Love the cat. Cat cam. Not moving, is fast asleep. Retro carpet, you know, we're matching the main lobby carpet to the also in here carpet. This actually right here is actually me walking around the esports arena. And then this is, yeah, we're hitting those emotes. Coming soon to the Apple store near you is these tomato emoji faces. Yeah, actually, it's gonna be the iPhone 27 with the emoji faces.
Fortnite's banned from Apple.
Yeah, Fortnite is banned from Apple, but you know, it'll be back one day. I'm sure it'll be back one day. We also got shout out to Grandma's AC unit, no centralized air, only the super small unit. Also, we're brushing. I don't know about you, but brushing against like the hardwood. I mean, I definitely think I would prefer a Swiffer sweeper in that moment, don't you think? Like, just it just captures the dust better. You know, you're not just pushing it around. It locks it in. There you go. Exactly. Also, shout out to our fake plant. That thing is 100% fiber optic plastic.
The ping pong table in the back, though.
Ping pong table in the back. Yeah. We don't actually have paddles or balls to play, but we actually just. Stop laughing, son. We also got the see-through railings up there at the top.
Catwalk.
Yeah, up on the catwalk. Definitely not made for a small child. This $2.5 million all-white house. Yeah, definitely. We got to paint it actually once every 3 days to keep it this white. Believe it or not, I have to do a full renovation paint job. Generally averages to be about, I think it was 27 grand. Yeah, no, I mean it's the price of luxury. All right, and it does look like we are going to be now 84 players in lobby, waiting for match 2 commence here in just 1 second. Let's go ahead and take a look at our wonderful player skins that we're going to be rocking for this go around. We're going to have Jacob on the makeshift powder puff girl, and we're gonna have Ethan on the dummy skin. Not feeling like a dummy though. The boys are definitely locked and loaded, ready to go here in chapter 5 season 1, or are they skipping around?
We're chapter 6 right now. Chapter 1 season 5.
Chapter 1
season 6. Sorry.
Chapter 1 season 6. That's weird. Yeah, we're going backwards. This is so weird. Ah, you're right. I see. 86 players, and now waiting for match. Let's get into it. This techno kind of goes hard though. That's little waiting for match music. And I'm taking it away from you.
No.
All right, here we go. Getting into the game. And we're going to be starting with none other than Jacob.
Perfect drop. Bus line.
Yeah, does it look like a... Is it a bottom right to upper mid, or is it an upper mid to bottom right? That's a real question.
Upper mid to bottom right.
Upper mid to bottom right. You hate to see it. But I mean, let's see what happens. Oh, hitting the quick scope before the match starts. That's always good luck.
How to do it in game.
All right, and it does look like the boys are going to be landing later, getting the education that they need at the right price for free. Looks like it's going to be a little bit more towards a rootin' tootin' roll drop. You know what? I'm with this. I'm with the changing up of the pace a little bit just to see what's what.
You're gonna see Paradise from the MadCon.
Yeah, it is gonna be MadCon towards Lucky, but hearing one late flyer. Actually, oh my gosh, almost 3 teams. Oh, but one team is gonna be conning us hard on gas station.
We have better drop though.
We do have better drop, but it is just going to be just the dynamite and ammo. We're going to be live with Ethan here, who's really going to have to make the difference and come in clutch. Instant mollies.
No, gas station still does blow up.
Gas station, yeah, gas station does indeed blow up. Looks like we got Jacob looking to fall off from the pressure. He's also going to find an RPG. Oh my goodness, and the instant knock. And it is going to be the instant rockets as well. Is the piece... Oh, he does have a shotgun, and this could be slightly dangerous, but the boys are going to do a good job of cleaning it up quickly. Now just looking to box and heal. Like I said, a lot of teams went down towards Lucky. Got to make sure that they don't come instant con. And thankfully, I am hearing at least one chest still within. Yep, and there it is. Okay, we are going to get double AR. Barely any shotgun. And the boys now just going to take it slow. Look to mat up, play the mid game and see what happens. Oh, also do have access to the campfire as well for the heals. You definitely throw some wood in that fire. Get her going. Not quite the edit that I would make, but we're watching a master at work here. All right, is going to go ahead and stoke the fire as well. Boys continuing to go ahead and mat up. Now the real question is, do we rotate towards Junkyard to resecure the metal that we would need and are losing technically from Risky, or do we elect to go towards Field for more fighting? If it's me personally, I think we found our 2 limbs here in the early game. I think we go ahead and mat up and play for that mid-game fight that we're looking for, and then kind of go from there. And that does look to be the call ultimately from the boys, is we are going to be moving back. Potentially looking to farm up on the metal as needed as well.
I will say that is the one thing I haven't missed about the old map, is not being able to swim.
Not being able to swim, absolutely. There's nothing like that beautiful dolphin dive stroke, popping out of the water like a dolphin, and then just eat, and then right back in. It's definitely a fun time. Go ahead and make sure that the RPG is reloaded. A very good play, a very good job. Go ahead and mat up. Now, I will say the boys do have to be a little careful. And actually, you know what? Ethan starts to smell what I'm smelling, which could be a late rotate out of west. And the boys do not have a lot of shield or HP to really burn here in terms of additional meds. So, got to be really careful that if you start a fight, that it's on your terms. Because if you don't, you could find yourself in a very bad situation. Oh, goodness. And that is going to be the med kit coming out. Jacob on live TV in 4K is going to accidentally hit the explosive barrel, causing him to detonate. But we are, as the boys say, chilling. We're going to find ourselves with not only a bush, but also shockwaves in terms of the rotate. I think those are probably going to go into the hands of, and actually they are not going to go into the hands of Jacob. Jacob, unfortunately, does not have a means to rotate, but actually are going to be distributing the bush as if it was a mini. Good call on the boys there. And unfortunately did not get to see zone quite as quickly there as I would have liked to have seen where it's going to pull. And you know what? Honestly, it all smells to be a bottom right zone, but I'm going to call it right now. It's another retail mid pull. Quote me on that. The zone does not pull the Paradise Palms. I don't know why it doesn't. I would love a good vacation in Paradise Palms, but unfortunately unable to take one.
Imagine how expensive this takes the Paradise Palm.
You know what? Paradise Palm, let's talk about this. What star resort do you feel like Paradise Palm is, Santi? I'm saying at least a 3. Now, I will say it can't be a 5 because think of all the residential close by, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that kind of stuff, but...
I'm thinking
does have the pool.
3.5,
Does have the pool,
3.7,
right?
yeah.
Has the pool, but unfortunately, not a working elevator.
That is true.
Yeah, you know, kind of situationally appropriate on that front.
No glass on the windows.
No glass on the windows. You know, the more we're talking here, I'm thinking more and more too. Actually, the more we're looking at it.
I'm thinking more shut down.
Yeah, you know, doors, no locks on the doors. People could just walk straight into your room. Random weaponry looted around. Discarded materials. You know, there's, I don't know, actually. I'm thinking a lot more of a motel than a hotel at this rate.
I'm thinking the motel on Mac is better than Paradise.
Ah, you know what? You know what? But see, abandoned motel, you know what you're getting into. You know it's a spooky, scary skeleton adventure. It's a nice Halloween haunt. You know, you might meet a friend, even if there's no one there. But, you know, Paradise, I just feel like, especially with the, you know what? The golf cart store right across the street. You know there's some entitlement there. So
Oh, yeah.
you definitely got to be concerned about that.
Absolutely.
All right, are going to be picking up boogie bombs as well. Boys be dropping the rotation methods for Jacob to pick up. Other secondary bush is going to be found, along with a suppressed SMG as well. Elects to stick with the normal white SMG. What is your preference? Huh? Do you like suppressed or do you like the normal?
Me personally, I like the normal just because suppressed, I feel like has a little bit of a slower.
Sure,
It just
definitely,
has a bigger
definitely
mag.
could make the argument that it does have a little bit of a slower actual shot speed for sure. All right, boys, continuing to make their way through farms carefully. Like I said, really have to be mentally aware of their surroundings here. Do not have really the extra material or anything to burn. Oh, and that could be, yep, okay. Has realized that it is going to be an upgrade in terms of the SMG. Slightly worried there for a brief second. You know, what's strange to me is, I can't remember, when did the main house come into the farm? And it not be just the barn?
Actually, looking back to this map, there aren't supposed to be 2 barns.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I could have sworn we
Main
should have
house,
seen a
yeah.
main house here, right? But
Main house has been there since I started playing, which was end of season 3, start of season 4.
sure.
So, from the looks of it, this is like, there's a whole lot of lore apparently to this.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
But I don't know. They chose not to elect to bring back a lot of buildings, especially in Tilted, the very big gray tower in middle.
Ah, you're right. All right, boys, listening just for any sort of audio cues, but ultimately are going to be kind of eyeing up and seeing what there is to see. Like I said, the boys may have already rotated, but doing a good job to just make sure that their backs are at least covered from the standpoint of making sure. Now, I'm really calling it here. I mean, could it be a spring, maybe a springs pull bottom left or a retail, but it's definitely not going to pull with how, you know, with the distance between each zone pull, it's not pulling hard enough for it to be a real true southward zone. So I am thinking we're going to end up in the middle of the map here at some point. And we are going to have max forms of rotation in terms of the shock waves. And are also going to find the suppressed pistol, but not elected to take it. That is okay. Do we take the bush for the band-aids or for the boogies? Personally, you got to keep some whites. You know, we got a lot of utility here. Actually using it almost as a secondary shield. You know, can appreciate that. I think that that's a reasonable trade, especially for the boogie bombs. are going to hear the reboot band northeast. Now, if they hear it, others do as well. Are going to play a little bit patient, maybe wait to see if they can hear any form of riffs or other rotations into it.
Reboot bands came in season 6, right? Or am I?
No, to be honest with you, reboot vans really were not in the game for a good bit. Actually, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't know if they were until chapter 2, actually. The introductory of chapter 2 is, I believe, when they were added. Yeah, I do not think reboot vans held a place in OG traditional Fortnite.
They did, because I remember, I don't know if you remember, the block?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. I think it had to have been one of the, like, if not the last, then the second to last season. But are going to spy more nades there that could have been used by Jacob to potentially 6-stack. Oh, there's even more nades. Have to wonder, really, honestly, how juicy that bush is in comparison to 9 grenade stacks. Does Suppressed have less spread? DK, I believe that Suppressed does have less spread than the traditional, but as we were kind of previously discussing, it is more to do than anything. Oh, and that is the risk when it comes to that. Not enough shielding, and those, I believe it's a scope sniper rifle, right? Hitting for the solid 140 to the body. And somehow a shockwave that does not do anything, and that is okay. We're okay with that. I am more than okay with that. Boys are going to have to be careful, and it does look like this team is going to continue to take shots. Really just need to burn the wood. You know, not worth getting tagged again here by any means. Now, they do have the bushes, so it's okay to be a little bit careful, or a little bit less careful now. You know, don't want to draw too much attention to this flank. Don't want an enemy team thinking they can take advantage, necessarily. But we are going to be falling off to hopefully refine some shielding here for the boys, and also to refarm the materials. Now, we are going to find a Porta-Fortress, which will be good for us. Oh, and kids are going to be spotted. Working their way up close. Initial damage is going to come into contact. You have to ask how the boys are going to look to take this fight. It does look like... Not necessarily. Oh, are going to pop the fortress for, if nothing more than the retake potential. It is going to be a 77 shot. Really good play there. But this is what we're worried about, the third party potential. You know, no fight is going to go... Yeah, no fight is going to go unnoticed. Yep, and here come the nades too. And they are going to rift.
Can both make it in time.
Oh my gosh, boys are electing to rift instead, but they are both whited, and this is super dangerous as they look to completely just dive bomb south. Doing what they can, but honestly, Jacob might go down here. Just needs to look to dive bomb it to the best of his ability. No whites. Team on the hill might be looking to get more shots on. Are going to thankfully find ourselves into divot, but are going to have to really consider disengaging hard here. No heals. Risky, risky, risky business. We're not in reals, but we're definitely still feeling risky. Boys definitely need to, like, find some way to get their heals back up. Still on the edge of the storm here. Band-aids, medkits, anything to really make this something. Now, we are going to find another Porta-Fortress. That is good. But the real question now is, how are we going to get the refresh that we need to stay in here in terms of game number 3?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but does the cornfield still drop corn when we wait?
It does not. The only sort of eatables on the map are currently apples, mushrooms, or I think maybe one other. Yeah, I think that's right. And it comes from, there's like these food boxes. They much resemble coolers, but very different in appearance. This is going to be so difficult for the boys, but they honestly do need to move now, not really having the whites to really sustain and tank Storm here. We do have the advantage in terms of, you know, we still have plenty of modes of rotations. All right, boys are going to look to see what they can do. We're going to be potentially eating a few apples. Apples, to be honest, are not going to cut it. Might do you, you know, a little favor in the short run, but one AR bullet is going to negate anything that we're doing right now. Really need to find us some band-aids so we can maybe look to tank Storm and rotate in on our own accord. That's the med kit that we need right now. And actually, we should not look to pop it right now. We should actually wait and kind of continue to tank Storm as needed as we look to rotate in here. But you can call me what you want, but you can't call me a liar. It is going to be a divot pull.
No.
Yep. Sort of unfortunate for the boys to find ourselves in this predicament, but it is what it is. We do have to be careful about knocking down trees because those can be so dangerous in terms of giving away our position. Band-aids as well. And this is one of the few instances where I would actually say, yep, to indeed drop what we're doing and start working our way right. And oh my god, the minis pull. Okay, we're back in it from a healing standpoint. It's still not fully great. Could be slightly scuffed, but now the opportunity is just going to be to refarm, maybe look to get into zone, and maybe see if we can find one of those mid-game fights that we would need in order to position ourselves better. Now, with the amount of ammo we have, it's really going to be like some quick tags and then look to ape a box. Reboot, while good in terms of elimination points, bad in terms of then they don't have what they need in order to rotate effectively. So, gonna find a little bit of mats, some extra materials, all good things.
That auto mantle effect. How did that
Auto mantle, yeah, it's debated throughout history, a tale as old as time, a meme as old as Vine, one might say. But it looks like the boys have actually been detected here by the opposing team and are going to just go ahead and do their best to box up. Are going to go ahead and pop these medkits now. Didn't know we found a second one, but that is going to be good.
I think it was 2-1 right there.
It might be 2-1, but now we're going to really look to utilize, if nothing more, our rotation means to get into zone. Moving southwest is going to be the call. Do you look to, you know, dip inwards to the middle of zone and risk being a target focus, but having that natural security of running through divot, or are you going to risk sticking to the outside and maybe looking to follow people in after the fact?
Do you think it'd be worth if they went to go take an exclusivity with the duo Blue and Storm right now, or
risky? I mean, you might be able to force a rift that you can then double diff, but I think the risk definitely outweighs the reward, especially with how far this zone pulls. You know, really just finding ourselves more in a stagnant spot here now. Like I said, did find our 2 quick eliminations off the get-go, but now we're going to be more focused on continuing the rotate. Looks like we are going to be mirroring the team that is already moving. Do have to be slightly concerned with regards to our behind. Boys are burning the appropriate wood to allow them the advantage. Do you have to be careful about this southwest team? Does not look like they've bugged out yet. But ultimately are going to decide to shock. Definitely. Yeah, we are a little bit separated. Is going to have to shock to get back together. Dangerous shockwave. But is going to find himself back, but should not be in wood here with how many grenades and stuff can be in play.
Not learn anything from, what was it, second game?
Oh, a little slightly dangerous here. Lot of teams here in divot if you think about it. Okay, are going up, but not a lot to show for it. The real question here is, yep, exactly. Going ahead and using it as nothing more than a secured box. I like this play. This is good.
question is, do you think Zone is going to pull back? Or it's going to be a max?
Okay, boys are going to go ahead and close up zone. Boys really just going ahead and looking at what information they have. There is probably going to be at least one team that looks to rotate up into them here. And also, you know, they definitely do have the advantage of kind of walking the old build. Yep, just like this in terms of the tarp. And they can look downhill.
They don't have the rocket.
No, they definitely don't have the rocket. This is going to be a one and done. They're just using the utility just to throw it. And, you know, from there, what occurs is what occurs. But yep, there's going to be some teams looking to fly in. And one team is going to be flying that brick in as well. He's going to get some good initial chip damage as well. Boys are going to have to be worried about making sure positionally that they do get in. It's going to be potentially one player under them within their portafort. But actually they are, I think that they are just straight up in. Yeah. They are straight up in. And based upon where this player elects to run, could be life or death for him. And they are going to find out that he is inside. He's underneath. Yes, and that is going to be a good refresh. Are going to find not only some mats, but actually some upgrades in terms of their weaponry as well. Zone is going to be pulling max, and unfortunately, this is also going to be on the congested side, so very, very dangerous here. But we can be patient with this pull, as it is going to pull our way. The real question is, are we going to elect to tunnel first, or purely just look for the rotate? Like I said, a lot of teams here. You do have to be very, very careful. This is a dangerous play. Not safe at all to be utilizing bouncers in this facet. Zone is going to be going up slightly. Yep, but is now going to be going. Boys doing what they can, but are hearing movement around them. And the decision is going to be to go ahead and rotate. Yep, the boys are going to go ahead and shockwave forward and are going to go ahead and maintain. Are slightly separated in the current stature, but we are going to pick up a nice elimination here in the mid. Has to be careful to cover his head. We have no heals. Boys are going to opt to go front side of zone. Might elect to take a box fight instead. Dangerous ability here. Do have still plenty of rockets that we could be pressuring with. Is also going to find, oh, a dangerous pull. Boys are separated. Playing ultimate low and playing life together. The spray is going to allow for the elimination. This is a really good reset. If the boys can get to it in time, boys are going to regroup and get to the reset. Still 15 left alive, and this is where we get to those zones that are going to be start too fast to pull. And unfortunately is not going to be pulling quite in our way. Oh, we are going to have we're going to actually have advantage here in terms of going up quickly. It is going to be scary, though. A lot of people are going to be looking. And it looks like the boys are going to elect to play the mid to low ground. The real question becomes, though, is a team going to let them? Oh my gosh, this zone actually such a blessing that it actually perfectly fits the outside of Storm at the moment. Very, very dangerous. Boys are going to elect to go up one. Move slightly. Yep. You have to be careful. are going to be tunneling forward, looking to drop slightly onto a better layer. And this is really good tunneling by the boys, sticking together. Is going to be a ape for the play. Kill is going to be confirmed. Still plenty of mats from Jacob. Seven people alive. Playing for nothing more than positioning. 105 mats. 6 players left alive. Only one duo left in the game. Zone is going to be pulling, but ultimately boys are going to fall fourth, but good finds onto the eliminations that were needed. And the boys are definitely going to find themselves back up there in the top 5. Thank you everybody for tuning in today to ECAC Week 6 on the brand new Chapter 1 map. I have been Director Mark Link, joined by Sandy for the side commentary, and we appreciate that. And everybody have a great rest of your week, and we will look to be live again on Sunday with our fun CS2 in-house. Don't go anywhere. That'll be a lot of fun. See ya.